Honorable Lugobi has never forgotten Budget Committee. Thank you.
The Parliamentary Committee on Tourism, Trade and Industry.
Where she has been a member, Honorable Mpaka Mwijuche.
The Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, Central Government. The National Resistance Movement Parliamentary Caucus.
NRM Caucus. Thank you.
The Lao Parliamentary Group. West Nile Parliamentary Group. Karamoja Parliamentary Group. Bunyoro Parliamentary Group. Teso Parliamentary Group. Bukedi Parliamentary Group.
Honorable members, you can remain where you are and just raise your hand to save time.
Bukedi Parliamentary Group. Busoga Parliamentary Group. Chigezi Parliamentary Group. Buganda Parliamentary Group.
Honorable members, kindly, we are in a session, don't make noise. Just go and lay and come back.
Acholi Parliamentary Group. Sebei Parliamentary Group. Rwenzori Parliamentary Group. Greater North Parliamentary Association. the Uganda People's Congress President,
the President of UPC and the First Lady of UPC. Thank you, First Lady.
the
Thank you so much.
The Forum for Democratic Change Women's Group,
Thank you. Thank you.
Parliamentary Prayer Breakfast,
Honorable Bahati.
the East African Legislative Assembly,
Representative of Yala. That is the chairperson, East African Committee. Members of Yala, thank you for coming. I can see Honorable Siranda, Honorable Akol, and Honorable Kadogo. Welcome. Thank you.
the Parliamentary Anglican Chaplaincy,
The Chair, Honorable Bua. I mean, you're this few.
the Parliamentary Catholic Chaplaincy,
Catholic chaplaincy.
the Parliamentary Pension Scheme, the National Unity Platform Party,
They said start where you This is the last time they will talk to a third.
Ankole Parliamentary Group,
Cattle keepers. They are replacing a wound. They are replacing a DP. It must be a candidate of.
the Pan-African Women's Group, the National Resistance Movement Central Executive Committee,
The other ones are not members, they are just opted members. VP and Prime Minister. It is the Jim and Lim. Oh, and so you have changed the color. Sick. Oh. Sick. Sick. Did you see your color? Sick. They should be suspended. They answered it.
Honorable members, pursuant to Rule 7 of the Rules of Procedure, allow me also to admit in the chambers His Excellency, the former Vice President, a former Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Edward Kiwanuka Sekandi. You're most welcome. He's here to, he has joined us in the proceedings when we are paying tribute to our sister. Also allow me to, can I have silence? If you want to laugh, go out. Honorable members, there is a condolence message from the Deputy Speaker, Esmond Ford, from Trinidad and Tobago. This is a delegate of ACP EU delegation, where Cecilia has been a member of ACP EU. Also allow me to read a condolence message from Uganda Parliamentary Cooperative Savings and Credit Society Limited, the SACCO, signed by Honorable Megade Robert, the chairperson, board chairperson. Thank you. There is also a condolence message from the government chief whip and chairperson of the NRM Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable members, allow me to introduce the family members who are inside. Mr. Smart. The letters always refer him as Mr. Smart. We have the other version of a mat, Rosemary, Dr. Rosemary Aloch Ogwal. Doctor, you're most welcome and ready to take on the legacy of a mat. Mr. Otiek Moses Michael Ogwal, the son to the late. Ogwal Nicholas Awongo, son to the late. Ochen Philip Ogwal, son to the late. Ogwal Joshua Ogwal, son to the late. Okelo Ogwal Henry, son to the late. Atim Stella, daughter. Ogwal Ronald Lamek, daughter, son. Otiek Ronald James, son. Ajok Susan Awongo, daughter. They are here to join us in paying tribute to the late Cecilia Ogwal Barbara. Honorable members, in the VIP gallery, we have the former members of parliament, and also we have different dignitaries. We have Dr. Chigundu, former chairperson of Eastern. Doctor, welcome. We have Honorable Butele Anthony. Welcome. We have Honorable Alice Alaso Ashanot. Welcome. We have Honorable Ongaria David Stephen. Welcome. Honorable Akika Othieno Emmanuel. Welcome. We have Honorable Sebalu Michael Kennedy. Welcome. We have Honorable Matembe Miria, Iron Lady. Welcome. We have Honorable Okel Livingston. Welcome. We have Honorable Rosendana Augustine. Welcome. We have Honorable Etiang Paul. Welcome. We have Honorable Okelo Anthony, Commissioner of Electoral Commission. We have Honorable Namsoke Sara Kiingi. Namsoke Sara, you're welcome. We have Honorable Osege Angelina Asio. You're most welcome. We have Honorable Abala David. Otio. We have Honorable Amuriat Patrick Oboy, the President of FDC. Welcome. We have Honorable Kainza Justin. Welcome. We have Honorable Tweribe Tungwaho. We have Honorable Rakojo Sam. Honorable Rakojo Sam is represented here in the House. We have Honorable Betty Olive Kamia Namisango. We have Honorable Stende Sebalu. We have Honorable Okwonsi Sam. Welcome. We have Honorable Sebagala Latif Sengendo. Welcome. We have Honorable the former Deputy Attorney General Rohindi Freddy. Welcome. We have Honorable Okelo Anthony again. We have Honorable Mariam Nalvega. Welcome. We have Honorable Angolo Joseph Jacob. Welcome. We have Honorable Willie Washington. Speaker, Wakatiki, Honorable Daniel Fred Kidega, Honorable Biraha Stephen, that is national dialogue. Honorable Honorable Jack Wamai, we have Honorable Amoy Judy, we have and I now call you to give us the motion.
I move under Rule 56. Motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay to you.
107.3 Kampala, 96.9 Mbale, 95.7 Jinja, 98.6 Soroti. You are all covered.
UBC Butego.
Yikwadwala winikune. Asoka mulio. Atekeri naite saibija sesi.
UBC Butego.
Well, welcome everyone to the biggest game on the continent.
And you have to. You've got to just seize those moments and enjoy them as much as you possibly can.
Cecilia Ogwal has been a fountain of knowledge and wisdom, a member of both the young and the old in the political arena, a nationalist who loved her country with passion and promoted it both at the local and international forums, and a Pan-Africanist who fearlessly defended African identity on a global scale. Further appreciating that Honorable Cecilia Ogwal has been an excellent politician who, with vibrancy, articulation, and logic, advocated for the rights of women and children and spoke the truth to power with unwavering confidence and conviction, and yet with respect, and indisputable political icon in post-independent Uganda. Now, therefore, be it resolved, honorable colleagues, that Parliament collectively conveys its deepest condolences to the bereaved family, relatives, friends, and the people of Dokoro District, Lango, and Uganda at large for the loss of a distinguished and exceptional leader of this country. And Parliament takes cognizance of the profound patriotic and Pan-Africanist service that Honorable Cecilia Barbara Atim Ogwal has rendered to the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, the people of Dokoro District, the Lango community, and the people of Uganda and Africa at large. That, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. Is the motion seconded? Seconded by the Vice President of Republic of Uganda, the Leader of Government Business, the Government Chief Whip, Minister Honorable Muhesi, the Attorney General, Daudi, Aroboy, by the former Vice President, by the even Honorable Magogo, by the Chief Whip, by the Leader of Opposition, by the President of UPC, by the whole House, and FDC. Thank you so much. Would you like to speak to your motion? Yes. Mr. Procedure.
Madam Speaker, you used your power to admit some distinguished leaders into the parliamentary chambers. The procedure I'm raising is whether they are briefed on what to do and what not to do. Because I have seen the former Vice President, the Honorable Sekandi, now participating in proceedings of Parliament.
Honorable Senator, this is a tribute motion. It's a tribute motion, and Honorable Sekandi is right to stand.
Because I have seen the former Vice President, the Honorable Sekandi, now participating in proceedings of Parliament.
Honorable Senator, this is a tribute motion. It's a tribute motion, and Honorable Sekandi is right to stand up because he's inside. I admitted him inside, so he's right to stand up. The only thing I cannot allow him to do is to vote. But he's my guest. And that's why I'm saying that Rule 7 gives me all the powers.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues,
honorable members, listen to the Prime Minister justifying her motion.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, my justification. On Thursday 18th January this year, the country woke up to the sad news and unfortunate news of the passing of Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, the woman representative for Dokoro. Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, the iconic leader, succumbed to cancer-related illnesses in India, where she had gone for treatment. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal was born on 12th June 1946 in Dokoro district in Lango sub-region, northern Uganda, to the late Opio Boniface and Rosemary Apio, residents of Aduku village, Kwania County in Lira district, the present-day Dokoro district, and rose to prominence as a career woman, politician, and a business person. The late Honorable Cecilia Ogwal took her primary in Nairobi. In 1995, she attained a certificate in Christian Basis Leadership from Hagai Institute in Singapore. In 2007, she attained a certificate in Public-Private Partnership from Australia. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal has had an illustrious career that spans over 50 years in both the public and the private sector, which shaped her identity as an iron lady. 1972 to 1977, she was a director in Uganda Breweries and Uganda Pepsi Cola. 1972 to 1974, she was a general manager operations, Uganda Advisory Board. 1981 to 1986, she was the chairperson, Uganda Development Bank, as well as acting Secretary General, Uganda People's Congress. 1993, 1996, she was the chairperson, Presidential Policy, Uganda People's Congress. 1993, she was a Constituent Assembly delegate for Lira Municipality. 1996 to 2006, she was a member of Parliament for Lira Municipality. In 2006 to date, she has been the woman member of Parliament, Dokoro District. 2011-2016, she was Chief Opposition Whip. 2016 to 2018, she served as a Commissioner of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, in her extraordinary life, has been a wife and a mother. She has been married to Lamek Ogwal, mothering 7 biological children and many adopted children. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal will be remembered for her tireless dedication to public service. She has been an eloquent legislator who legislated objectively with passion. She has been a nationalist who always flaunted the country first above any other political affiliations. She has left a footprint as a true patriot in advocating for women's rights and girl child. Honorable Speaker and members, although the late Cecilia Ogwal was an opposition politician, she was a good friend to His Excellency the President, and that's why he always referred to her as his sister. I would like to thank the President for the support he gave the deceased and her husband when they flew to India for treatment, when both of them fell sick at the same time. I also thank him for having accorded the deceased an official burial in appreciation of her dedicated services to the country. Honorable Speaker, I thank you for according Honorable Cecilia Ogwal a special sitting in honor of her dedicated service to Parliament. Government of Uganda wishes to extend its profound sympathies to the family, the people of Lango region, and the people of Uganda at large. May the Almighty God grant her soul eternal rest.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for the motion, and you will have the seconder. Before we have the seconder, we have Professor Celestino Bua, the head of Aki Amat clan. Okay, Amat clan, and the Honorable Cecilia was married. He's also the vice chairperson of Mbarara University and the chairperson of UNEB. You're welcome. Vice Chancellor. We also have Hajat Farida Kimboa, the chairperson of the National Women Council. We have Dr. Grace Kaboyo, Executive Secretary, Pan-African Women Organization. You're most welcome. The women, I know you wanted to do a lot of singing, but I'll give you to sing the whole night, since the body will be sleeping here. Condolence from Honorable Inaitre Rakajara, from is a chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Parliamentary Pension Scheme. We also have condolence from the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Taebwa Thomas, who is out for official duty, but will be joining the family for burial in Kole. Could we have the seconder, the leader of opposition?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and members. I rise to second the motion to pay tribute to the Honourable Cecilia Atim Ogwal under Rule 60 of our Rules of Procedure. Right Honourable Speaker, as I get started, I would like to convey a message of condolence from the Honourable Chagulanyi Sentamu Robert, who was in the 10th Parliament with the Honourable Cecilia Ogwal, also from Dr. Kiza Besije, who was in the Constituent Assembly together with Atat Cecilia Ogwal, and also from the Honourable Erias Lukwago, who was in the 9th Parliament. Even though Atat was not in Parliament at the time, they were in the trenches together. They would have loved to be here in the gallery, but they are unable to because they are under house arrest and some on the run from the military. Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members, can we listen the good thing? The house arrest is not by this Parliament. So can we have the motion seconded?
Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, the nation has again suffered a great loss with the passing of the Honourable Cecilia Atim Ogwal, Dokolo District Woman Representative in Parliament. We condole with the family, relatives, friends, the people of Lango sub-region and the country at large upon this untimely loss. While we mourn the loss of our gallant colleague, Right Honourable Speaker, we pay tribute and celebrate a life that was well lived. The Honourable Cecilia Ogwal was a stateswoman of outstanding and unparalleled dignity, a mother, an inspirational leader, one of the few politicians who exemplified impeccable work ethics and acted in the interest of her nation. She embodied peace and was an ardent advocate of affirmative action, rights of women and the girl child in particular, but above all, she was a champion of the rule of law and democratic governance. While Uganda may never see another Atat Cecilia Ogwal, she inspired countless men and women of valor. She deposited herself in many of us. Throughout her life as a leader, the Honourable Cecilia Ogwal consistently exhibited compassion and a strong commitment to foster our national democracy. She gained notoriety when she blatantly opposed the monolithic movement system, which had outlawed multipartyism in our country. It was this bold stance that earned her the appellation Iron Lady, a respect she greatly walked with in life and guarded in action and candid speech. It is with great respect and gratitude that we extend this tribute to Atat, a true guardian of parliamentary institutional memory and a repository of rich experience. Relatedly, we should credit Atat for her effort in the global campaign for women emancipation and empowerment in our country. Women emancipation and empowerment are broadly encompassing concepts and require concerted efforts and comprehensive approach to fusion. It's not enough to boast about the number of women in leadership. These statistics should be accompanied by equitable and efficient service delivery. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the citizenry desire leadership that is cognizant of the plight and aspirations of its citizens and an economy that creates opportunities for all. Right Honourable Speaker, this august House should take cognizance of the Honourable Cecilia Ogwal's achievements and wise counsel, which will forever be relieved in her towering legacy and profound impact on the downtrodden. She was an astute leader, seasoned politician, excellent banker, successful business personality, and a pioneer on various fronts. She was one of the founders of the Housing Finance Bank and the first female chairperson of Uganda Development Bank. Her tenure As the Secretary General of the Uganda People's Congress UPC from 1985 to 1992, was quite transformative in our country, as we saw. She also played a pivotal role in the Constituent Assembly and participated in the drafting and promulgation of the 1995 Constitution. As a member of the Forum for Democratic Change, she diligently served as the opposition chief whip and as a parliamentary commissioner. Indeed, her remarkable skills, leadership skills, enabled the opposition to achieve tremendously during the 9th Parliament. It is absurd that the constitution process that she dedicated herself to was gradually eroded by the ruling government. Her passing has occurred at a time of heightened concern among Ugandans regarding human rights violations ranging from enforced disappearance to detention without trial. The Honorable Ogwal, in her interview with the Observer paper in 2018, published in an article titled "I Survived Death 12 Times," disclosed that she had been targeted and repressed for her alignment with the opposition. This repression has been recurrent to all politicians who have challenged the regime. When shall these predatory tendencies stop? We unreservedly celebrate the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal's distinguished service to the legislature and her unwavering commitment to constitutionalism, the rule of law, human rights, equity, and inclusiveness. Without a doubt, she has played her part. Fellow Ugandans, I wish to remind you that we have not yet attained the desired freedoms and enjoyment of human rights guaranteed under the Constitution that she vehemently fought for. It is our constitutional obligation to pursue full realization, respect, uphold, and protection of our rights. This obligation, Right Honorable Speaker, transcends our political affiliations and stature in society. What is required of us is to rise to the occasion and demand for what rightly and constitutionally belongs to us. Therefore, do not wait for another attack, Cecilia, to rise and fight for you. Rather, be a Cecilia Ogwal in your own right and for the common good. The passing of our esteemed colleague, the Honorable Ogwal, and many other similar deaths from foreign hospitals continue to expose the lacuna and deficiencies in Uganda's healthcare system. Many Ugandans succumb to treatable diseases, a consequence attributed to corruption and failure of the government to prioritize the health sector. This is why a handful of able Ugandans continue to seek medical attention abroad due to lack of confidence in the country's capacity to provide comprehensive health care for its citizens. This lamentable reality highlights the urgency to address systemic issues within Uganda's healthcare sector to ensure that our sovereign nation is not only capable, but also trusted to administer proper medical treatment to all Ugandans. Right Honorable Speaker, to the best of my recollection, from the newsroom up to date, where I was, I have known Atat Cecilia as a leader who detested corruption in all its moral and legal forms. In all its moral and legal forms. We should therefore applaud Atat for her clean record and for advocating for equitable sharing of the national resources to ensure national cohesion and balanced national development. We humbly urge this august House to seize every lawful opportunity and ensure that development disparities plaguing our country are thoroughly addressed through the budgetary process and effective legislation. As the Bible reminds us in Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. We celebrate a life well lived and implore ourselves to emulate Atat and the values that she embodied. May the Almighty God grant her eternal rest. Rest in peace, the Honorable Atim Cecilia Barbara Ogwal. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you, Leader of Opposition, as we pay tribute to a very peaceful lady, a uniting lady, a peace-loving lady. For today, let's talk the goods, the deeds of Atat. Let's first put politics aside. We'll discuss politics on Tuesday. Let's discuss politics when there is nobody in front of us. But I also thank the president for having been a good friend to Atat. Those two were inseparable. And respectfully, let's talk about the good of Atat, because this is the last time we are having her here. Can I have Honorable Ziji? The Dean of Independence, my representative.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. I also rise on behalf of the Independents to second the motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal for her dedicated service to the Republic. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, how does one sum up the life and legacy of such a leader, towering in every respect? Permit me, if I may, Right Honorable Speaker, to allude to the wise counsel of St. Paul as he gave charge to his protege, Timothy, in the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 5 to 8, which reads that perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of truth is godliness. From such withdraw yourself. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out of it. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the world out there assumes that politicians are self-seekers who pursue self-aggrandizement and enrichment at the expense of the public. If such an assumption had any iota of truth, Honorable Cecilia would be the exception, because hers has been a life without scandal. No scandal. She lived and served beyond self, always propagating the best interest of the country, especially the rights and welfare of the girl child. She stood for values without regard to political correctness. She was content with her modest means, debated with facts, and appreciated the times, and guided us in this House on what we ought to do as leaders. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, she did not shy away from telling the truth, no matter what others would think. For example, even though she had a different political orientation to His Excellency the President, she did not shy away from admitting that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is a great leader who has done great good for the country. She also, while paying tribute to the late Honorable Chamber here on the floor, made an admission. I said she didn't shy away from speaking the truth. She said that Basoga men are the most handsome and charming in Uganda. She was
Conclude.
I beg for your protection, Right Honorable Speaker.
Conclude.
Honorable members, that is the view of the seconder.
Yes.
Please
yes.
give him time, let him speak. But they are the handsome men.
Honorable Cecilia Ogwal has been and continues, even in her resting, to be a beautiful soul whose beauty has moved the nation from when she was Miss Uganda to date, which beauty could move even us, the princes of the land. Her beauty has been both internal and external. She can never be forgotten. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Procedure on what? Under which rule? The Secretary General of FDC would be the last person to interrupt the send of his member.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Just a correction. Madam Speaker, I was here when we were sending off the late Henry Chamber. She mentioned this, that she had the smartest man, Mr. Smart, and said the most handsome boys come from Busoga College, Mwiri. So how can Busoga College, Mwiri become Busoga?
Honorable members, so what was the procedural matter? What was the procedural matter?
Madam Speaker, the procedural matter was raising because Busoga is different from Busoga College Mwiri, because Busoga College Mwiri collects from the whole country, and I happen to be one of them, and I'm not from Busoga. So I saw who is handsome. So Madam Speaker, the procedure is that is it procedure right for somebody to mistake Busoga College Mwiri for Busoga?
But it's the fact that Busoga men are nice. Can we now open the debate? Honorable members, I will start with the Vice President. Just sit, I will pick you. I know all of you want to speak.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, please listen.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. I stand here to support the motion moved by the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Right Honorable Speaker, I learned with deep sorrow the untimely death of our comrade, Honorable Imat Cecilia Ogwal Atim, who passed away on 18th January 2024 in India. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Office of the Vice President and on my own behalf, and indeed on behalf of the people of Katakwi District, I would like to extend sincere condolences to her family, the people of Lango, the Parliament of Uganda, and the entire country at large. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal was a great stateswoman who loved her country, and she will be missed dearly by all the people of Uganda, and particularly us, the women and girls. Right Honorable Speaker, I therefore would like to reiterate what I had said before, that I have stood up to support the motion moved by the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and I would like to state that I entirely associate myself with all the contents of the motion. We can speak so many things about the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, but I would like to keep it to the motion which the Right Honorable has moved. I pray that the Almighty God grants the entire family the courage and the strength to go through this trying moment. And I would like to thank His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, for according her an official burial. And relatedly, Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank you for convening a special session to allow us to pay tribute to her. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much, VP. And Dennis?
Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, I rise to support the motion as moved by the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and in loving memory of the late Honorable Atat Cecilia Ogwal, I wish to pay tribute to her in 3 fronts. First of all, Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to recollect my maiden meeting with the Honorable Atat while I was a child. 2, I also wish to put on record the moment Honorable Atat felt a bit disappointed in me or with me in my political life. And 3, I will state this moment that changed my worldview on who Honorable Atat Cecilia was. Right Honorable Speaker, in 1994, at the age of 14, while a student at Lango College, and Lango College equally has handsome men, and they are here in this parliament, I had the opportunity to represent the children of Northern Uganda at the parliamentary mock debate during CA, when the Constituent Assembly was considering the promulgation of the 1995 Constitution. That formed my maiden meeting with the Honorable Atat at the age of 14, Senior 1, representing the children of Northern Uganda. What we debated then was what the children of Uganda thought would be embedded in our national constitution as the rights of the children of Uganda. And that forms part of Chapter 4 of our national constitution. Right Honorable Speaker, in 2001-2002, I was a youth leader as chairperson District Youth Council of Lira and a member of the National Executive Committee of the National Youth Council of Uganda. During that transitional process from the movement system to full multipartism, we all know that the Honorable Atat's political origin is Uganda People's Congress, and that must be put on record. Right Honorable Speaker, while in leadership as a youth, the Honorable Atat managed to persuade all the youth leaders to join Uganda People's Congress, with the exception of Obua Dennis Amson, the then District Youth Council Chairman of Lira and a member of the National Executive Committee. But I want to state that much as Atat felt disappointed, she respected my opinion, and I want to salute her for that. All the 2 district youth councillors were UPC. The district delegate to the National Youth Council was turned to UPC. My Secretary for Finance, who is the current chairman LC5 of Dokolo District on FDC ticket and one of their national vice chairpersons, was equally taken by Honorable Atat. I remained where I was. Later on,
when I narrated to the Honorable Atat why I made a choice to support the movement then, which is currently the National Resistance Movement, I told her my childhood story to the effect that in 1986, 1987, when the NRA took over power, there was a notorious character called Ojuko. Ojuko came to Lango, traversed the entire Lango. But I still recall as a child Ojuko driving up to Abaco to look for a getter. We walked with the family from Abaco up to Lira and ended up at the home of one of my maternal uncles. I still recall as a child. And when I told Atat, that formed the basis why I support the movement, why I support President Museveni, why I support the National Resistance Movement, because they saved the life of Obua and family when he was young. And she respected that. That said, Honorable Speaker,
there is an order.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I'm going to limit the time, so you should be able to. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I think, Right Honorable Speaker, you guided us well, that let's concentrate on the good deeds and not invoke politics. Otherwise, the way you can see the proceedings, the chief whip is actually taking us political.
Yes.
And can also open the Pandora's box in that regard.
Council, Honorable Bua Dennis is talking, he's saying Honorable Atat was a tolerant lady and would respect everybody's views. That's all he's saying. And much as he refused to join UPC, he still remained where he was, and Atat was okay with that. Can you conclude?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I hold the FDC whip in high regard. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, one moment that I will live to remember was in 2012, when Lango was confronted with the land conflict in Otuke. That led to the death of one of the cultural leaders. We assembled as members of the Lango Parliamentary Group and had a visit to Otuke district. While in Otuke, Atat played the role of an Atat in the culture of Lango. The situation was exceedingly volatile. That meeting of Otuke culminated into another meeting with the President at Rwaketora on the land question. And that was again another very, very volatile meeting. It took the wisdom of the Honorable Atat lying here. It took the knowledge of the Honorable Atat. It took the understanding and the wealth of experience. That is the elder I am talking about. That in any society, there is always this one elder that everyone would coalesce around when it comes to a critical moment, when the storm is there. And Atat would be that elder for Lango.
Thank you.
When that storm of land was there, Atat was the only one who could calm the storm in the presence of the President. Honorable Atat, I want to thank you, and I want to say your commitment, your dedication, your zeal, your stamina in fighting for the cause you believed in will live as your legacy. We can only promise, as Joshua generation, as envisaged in the Bible, that we will try our best to follow in your footsteps. Rest in peace, Honorable Atat Cecilia.
Thank you. Thank you. Gender.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, I pay tribute to a woman who has broken the glass ceiling for the other women in this country. When we talk about breaking the glass ceiling, what do we say? We are saying a woman who has broken barriers that would otherwise have stopped her from ascending to that powerful position. Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal stood first with men, a period where standing with men as a woman was not easy. They were here with Honorable Winnie Byanyima as those who stood, Honorable Speciosa Kazibwe. They were less than 5 women who had stood with men. Number 2, Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal was Assistant Secretary General of a political party, a position that in most cases would be occupied by men. But she occupied that position. Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal was a person, a woman who championed what was always put as the issues that are championed by men. In most circumstances, Cecilia was the one who drove the multi-party agenda, and men followed her to drive that multi-party agenda. She drove in northern Uganda the land question, and the men in northern Uganda followed her on the land question to ensure that the customary land ownership was integrated in the constitution of Uganda with the likes of the Chief Justice. That was Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal. The issues that were male-dominated, she drove them. That's what we call in gender issue, breaking the barriers. Breaking the barriers where women would not otherwise be in. Issues that women would otherwise not be doing. She in the Constituent Assembly, with the likes of Honorable Matembe, with the likes of Honorable Winnie Byanyima, with the likes of Speciosa and others, institutionalized affirmative action in the Constitution. For most of the women here, we have come on affirmative action. She will forever be remembered for institutionalizing women issues, institutionalizing the policy, the laws. She fought for gender-based violence. That's why today we are in this color. She even ensured that everything she talked about, be it democracy, be it human rights, it was engendered. She made sure every time she would remind the president, remind this parliament, remind everybody to, number 1, include women. Number 2, ensure the girl child are protected, and ensure that women's issues are mainstreamed in everything. I salute you, Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal. I thank you.
Thank you. We have a condolence message from the National Resistance Movement, signed by the Secretary General, Honorable Richard Prodon, and a condolence message from the Speaker of Yala. Yes, Health, Dr. Cheng. Then I come back to
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, allow me to bring condolences from the people of Lira City, where Imat Cecilia served as a member of parliament for 10 years, from 1996 to 2006, when it was still a municipality. Condolences to you, Madam Speaker, the Parliament of Uganda, the family, the people of Lango, and the entire government. Imat Cecilia Ogwal, also popularly known as Atat, or Mami, or Iron Lady, was a prayer warrior, a mentor, a mediator, and a great advocate for the girl child and women empowerment, a nationalist and a pan-Africanist. As one of the longest-serving legislators, Imat Cecilia was committed to ensuring that our country develops in all aspects. Madam Speaker, allow me to highlight a few critical contributions, especially in the health sector, that stood out very prominently. She strongly supported the establishment by law of the specialized institutions, the Uganda Heart Institute and the Uganda Cancer Institute, emphasizing the need to give autonomy to these institutions to function as specialties. And in a special way, allow me to appreciate Uganda Cancer Institute for taking care of Atat before her demise. Number 2, Right Honorable Speaker, in the 9th Parliament, then I was the Director General Health Services. She and many other members put up a strong fight for the increase of the budget for the health sector to cater for upgrade and construction of health center 3s, to an extent that there was a stalemate for 2 weeks. Parliament could not pass the budget. And until government granted their request. Because of this effort, as of today, we have been able to upgrade 340 facilities under the UGIFT program and construct 31 new ones. In addition, under the AMCHIP, we have upgraded 41 health center 2s to health center 3s and improved 40 health center 3s, including equipping all of them. Total number coming to 452. Right Honorable Speaker, I hope somebody else will rise up to that challenge. Number 3 is maternal and child health improvement. As a permanent member of the Budget Committee, she always emphasized the need for government to invest in maternal child health services to improve quality. She saw the high maternal and child mortality as a hindrance to development of our country. No wonder when UBOS released the results of the Uganda Demographic Health Survey in October last year, indicating that maternal mortality had dropped from 336 to 189 per 100,000 live births, and under 5 mortality had dropped from 64 to 52 from 2016 to 2022, she gave me a call to say, well done, my daughter, but it's not yet enough. As long as women and children are still dying, you have to increase the effort. And lastly, a very emotional one is on the issue of the PET scan at Uganda Cancer Institute. Madam Speaker, Imat's voice rose up on the issue of the PET scan at the Uganda Cancer Institute. She would always ask why we cannot have a PET scan in the country to avoid referrals abroad for its use. For the last 2 financial years, she roared this concern in this Parliament. Madam Speaker, allow me to report that her efforts were not in vain, although she did not live to use the PET scan, which was one of the reasons for her referral. Today, the process for procurement and installation are in progress, and I believe that her family and all of us will be witnesses to this. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, Imat Cecilia was a great ally to the health sector in all aspects, whether it was drug availability, equipment, human resources, infrastructure, or otherwise. The health sector will greatly miss Imat Cecilia. Mommy, rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Thank you. Honorable ICT Constitutional, then we come to Honorable Muhez. Cabinet, State. All of you are going to speak. We are going to sit here up to 6.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable
Let's
Speaker.
reduce on the time.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, the honorable members. Yes, they are reminding me to smile, and Ugandans have complied with the smiling. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here on behalf of the people of Chinchiz East constituency in Kanungu, as well as the Chigezi community, as the chair of the Chigezi Parliamentary Forum, and also on behalf of NRM, where I serve as the Vice Chair of the Party for Western Uganda, to convey condolences to you, Madam Speaker and honorable members of the House, to the family of Cecilia, our friend and our colleague, the people of Lango and Northern Uganda, and indeed Ugandans, to FDC party where she belonged, and the opposition, and to all of us. In the 9th Parliament, Right Honorable Speaker, I served as a parliamentary commissioner, and we used to prepare budgets for Parliament with the Honorable Okupa here and others. One of the difficult moments was when we would be reaching the item of how many MPs should we budget for, who will die in that year. Because supporting ourselves when we die is one of the vote items, and it would be at pain to estimate how many. My prayer is that this doesn't happen again in this parliament and many other parliaments to come, because it is sad, but also it's a sad reminder that all of us have to take this journey in our lives. And therefore, we feel pain, we feel saddened, and our condolences go to everybody. There is a saying by somebody who said that it's not in the number of years in your life that matter, but the life in your years. At 77 years, a third has had an impactful life. And if we speak about her, we can speak until cows come home. But we salute her. In this parliament, she was a voice of reason. She was a person who doesn't speak for the sake of speaking, but every time she spoke, the direction would change in this house when there is a contentious matter, and we have a lot to learn from her. Her mother was sick, and mine was sick as well, and they shared a room in the Uganda Heart Institute, and we were spending nights together as MPs, but nursing our mothers. And we had time to share, and my mother died one day, then hers died first, and mine died the following day. And we bonded and became very close. And she was passionate, like the Minister of Health said about health, but she became even much more passionate. When I told her, I was then serving as the Minister of State for Health, that we have bills on the Uganda Cancer Institute, the Heart Institute, to bring to Parliament, she started visiting my office, said, you must bring those bills. And she put pressure on me as the Minister of State, and indeed we brought the bills and passed them into law. And since then, she even increased her passion on issues of health and other related items. So we thank her for her contribution. She was a member of the opposition, but extremely respectful to everybody, including us who serve in the government.
Thank you.
And I think tolerance and respect for each other is one great lesson we should pick from her, plus many other causes which she championed. So we thank her family for looking after her. We pray that the good Lord rests her soul in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's reduce the time, 2 minutes, Constitutional Affairs.
Madam Speaker, for those of us who were in the 6th Parliament, we have a lot to say, but many of us will be able to publish our tributes in the other media because time will not allow to say all we would wish to say. The members of the 6th Parliament are both in this chamber and in the gallery. I want to salute them for showing up in full force to remember a gallant stateswoman. I also wish to salute the spirit in which this debate is taking place. Imad Cecilia Ogwal was a fun-loving lady. I don't think she would be happy to see people mournful and being too solemn. So the spirit in which we are debating is also a true spirit of what kind of person she was. Out there in the foyer where the body lay for viewing, I had a little chat with one of those who was with us in the 6th Parliament, the Honorable Dr. Miriam Matemba, and I asked her, what would you say? Then she said, only one thing. Cecilia Ogwal was always for God and for country. I think nothing summarizes the person we are celebrating more than that. I think the Rotarians have the 4-way test. I think for us she had a 2-way test. Is it God's will? Does it serve my country? Full stop. I also met our High Commissioner, Ambassador Nimisha Madivani, and she said she celebrates Imat Cecilia Ogwal for advocating for more money to improve our embassies and the work of those who serve our country abroad. We have had the CISCOP, which you presided over, Madam Speaker. We have had NAM, now we have G77. We live in a global village. As part of our tribute to Imat, let us really support our missions abroad, because those are the ones who advocate for better trade, who can explain some of the laws that we pass here better than anybody else, because they live there. Some of us can visit, but we don't have the networks. So, and no wonder, because of her international reach, there has been this outpouring of tributes from far and wide. She had a loving heart that never tired of giving. She always spoke about what it means to be a woman in politics, that it is not fun. In fact, she called it a journey of pain. There's a book called Dancing Backwards in High Heels. Now, I'll send a copy to Owopa. That's what it is for women. It's like dancing backwards in high heels. And I think men would even have it rougher if they tried. She was capable of speaking truth to power. We need people who can talk to powerful people, not necessarily in public, but even in private. We need that. All of us know powerful people. All of us, whether you are the president of Uganda, whether you are the speaker of parliament, whether you are the leader of a party, you need people who can come and tell you what you look like and put the mirror in front of your eyes. She had that ability. And every country needs that. This is the time to summon our elder statesmen and elder stateswomen to call us to order, we were still on the front lines. She also debunked the fact that a powerful woman does not necessarily have to be feminine or have a family or be a loving wife. Some people think the powerful women don't have husbands. It is a tribute to Imat Cecilia Ogwal that you can actually be a powerful advocate for women's rights without simply degenerating into cantankerousness. So we also thank Mzee Lameck Ogwal for standing by Imat Cecilia. I remember Imat Cecilia teasing the president that you are only counting 50 years of marriage. I've been at it longer than you. Now, that is the kind of person we are saying bye to. She was a torchbearer for freedom. She was a person who believed in pluralism. She denounced the stigmatization of people simply because they belong to a political party or to a particular tribe. She committed herself to her family like all of us should. All of us have our family stories. Some of us have dropped out of that arrangement. Thanks to Imad Cecilia. Yeah, it is important to have your family by you. It's very, very important because you members of parliament passed a law primarily to protect the family. And in tribute to Imad Cecilia, it is important that we thank her for going out of her way to explain what the anti-homosexuality law was all about to people who were refusing to understand. She said it was not targeting homosexuals, it targeted aggravated defilement, rape, whether heterosexual or homosexual. Because out there are those who are trying to distort our message. So Imad Cecilia Ogwal has been speaking out for Uganda. She was the embodiment of a true patriot. She was assertive, but she also had empathy. She could understand without judging. To understand how she was a complex person who was very easy to deal with. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. A B signed by him, the king. We also have in the public gallery Ambassador George Atim representing Lango Kingdom, and then Prince Edward Frederick Walugembe representing Buganda Kingdom. You're most welcome. We have Honorable Jacqueline Amongin from Yala, and Honorable James Kakoza, Yala. We had introduced others before. We have the former leader of opposition, Honorable Winnie Kiza. You're most welcome. We have Honorable Proscovia Alengot Oromait. You're most welcome. We have Honorable Nyakecho Annette. Honorable Nyakecho Annette, you're most welcome. We have Honorable Isaac Isaga Musumba, most welcome. We have Honorable Kamateka Jova, welcome. We have Honorable Chris Rokasisi, you're most welcome. We have Honorable John Emily Otekat, you're most welcome. We have Honorable Asumani Kinje, most welcome. We have Honorable Ambassador William Kinobe, you're most welcome. And we have Honorable Gerald Karuhanga. They are all here to join us in paying tribute. Most welcome. Can we have, I'd said Honorable Mohesi, Honorable Kadaga, Attorney General.
Thank you very much. Right Honorable
Members,
Speaker.
I'm coming this side, don't worry. What is your procedure?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was wondering, because you are usually angry with people who don't attend Parliament, but today they are the ones you are giving the opportunity.
Who does not attend Parliament?
The last time I saw Honorable Jim Mwezi was about a year ago.
Are you the speaker to determine who is inside and who is not?
No, that's why I'm putting this matter to you, Madam Speaker.
Please sit.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me opportunity to talk about an honorable member of Parliament who was different from many, like many people know. I bring condolences from the people of Rujumbura, from the people of Rukunjiri, and from my family, especially my wife Susan, who was a friend to Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. Many things have been talked about, and I don't intend to repeat what has been said, and in the interest of time. But I want really to thank now late Honorable Cecilia Ogwal for showing a difference in opposition. To oppose without bitterness and being principled. Many people have talked about the 6th Parliament. I was here, and I know many people who were in the 6th Parliament knew that at one time there was an unprecedented kind of organization, but she could not be whipped to follow just a group. I remember vividly when she refused, together with Honorable Ben Wacha, with Honorable Ekule Park, they refused. They said, let us first investigate. So she hated injustice wherever it was, on either sides of the house. I thank her very, very much. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish we turned this House into a debate of ideas, where we disagree on ideas and debate on ideas, and very friendly, like she used to debate with a lot of humor. So mine is just to make that statement. Others have talked about her patriotism, nationalism, Pan-Africanism, which are true.
Thank you.
I thank you, Right Honorable.
Thank you, thank you. Of recent, everybody walked out, and Honorable Cecilia remained there seated alone. And we want to thank her for that.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and the member.
Switch on, please switch on.
One, I bring condolences from Kambuli constituency, where Cecilia was a guest on the 17th of September 2022. She arrived unexpectedly as we were celebrating with my supporters all the way from Dokolo. So condolences to Mr. Smart. That's what she called her husband, Smart Ogwal, and the family. Secondly, I want to speak to her patriotism. One of the things we take for granted in this house is the health insurance. When she was a Commissioner of Parliament, I think I can say this, we used to give members money to pay for medical insurance, but they wouldn't pay. Then when they fell sick, they would come to me and say, you know, so we'd struggle. Where do we get money? We gave you money, you need to go to the insurance. So she brought a proposal that we should pay directly to the insurance companies. So I dispatched her together with Honorable Nabanja. I don't know who else was. Who was it? Yes, Nabanja and her. I sent them to Tanzania to check what the parliament there does, sent them to Nairobi, sent them to South Africa. We even sent her to India because she was trying to link parliament to the hospitals in India so that we could have direct access. But of course, we didn't succeed on that one. So that's one of the things I credit her for in this house. Secondly, she was really a Ugandan. Many times I went out with her. You know, when I first traveled with Cecilia abroad, I was worried. I said, what is she going to say in this meeting? But when we got there, she said, Madam, I'm a Ugandan. I will never speak against my country. And throughout her tenure, this is what she did. And she would defend vigorously. She would attack anyone who was trying to attack Uganda. I credit her for that.
Switch on.
The other one was her relentless campaign for multi-party democracy. Cecilia campaigned and campaigned and campaigned. They used to call with the president, call with everybody. until finally we agreed that Matt Fasim should come back. She's a voice that contributed that one. So I want to thank God for her life. And for me, you know, here I used to call her Honorable Ogwal. In the office, I call her Tat. She's someone who would just bang in and say, "This is Ogwal, I'm here." Then I said, "But you should have told me." She said, "No, it's okay." And she would just announce herself in that manner. That is Cecilia. We shall miss her. May God rest her soul in eternal peace.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I remember we lost a member of parliament who diverted money for medical, and Cecilia was really very firm on that as a commissioner. And members, I really want to urge you, when you are out of Uganda, love Uganda, speak about Uganda, love your country. Attorney General Daudi Ogwal.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I raised to support the motion as brought by the Right Honourable Prime Minister. It's indeed a very sad day as we pay tribute to Honourable Cecilia Ogwal. I have personally known Honourable Cecilia Ogwal outside politics for many years. From the 1980s, when we went to school to Budo Junior and King's College Budo with her children. And we interacted with them as friends, and we grew up to know them and know Honourable Cecilia Ogwal quite well. When I came to the House, Right Honourable Speaker, Honourable Cecilia Ogwal came to my aid severally when I was trying to find my feet in this place. She personally advised me, and even when I made mistakes, she never rebuked me on the floor, but took me outside in the lobby and guided me on what needed to be done right. I found that very refreshing, and she always guided me and said, "Don't worry, as long as you're doing the right thing, just continue, irrespective of the noise that you may hear in the house." I thank her so much. She was bold and she made her points clear, but she always was ready to listen, to understand where you are coming from. She will be dearly missed. I send my sincere condolences to my friends, my brothers, Moses, Nikki, Joshua, the twins. May the good Lord grant Mama eternal rest, and we are with you, we'll stay with you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Daudi?
Thank you. My condolences to the family and to the people of Lango. We shall remember Mama Cecilia Ogwal as a champion for those who had none, the soul of multi-party politics in this country, and the lioness of the Ugandan parliament. A woman whose name graces more than 5,000 motions and bills, and a mentor and a friend to many of us. I think she was one of the greatest registrators of our time, and I want to remember her for two things. The first one, her defense and advocacy for faith issues and marriage issues. She defended the institution of marriage in practice and in action. I have visited her at her home. I have seen how she respects Mr. Ogwal, at Smart Ogwal. And I want, Madam Speaker, in 1 minute to tell a story how I discovered this. One time as a member of the Minister for State for Planning in the Ministry of Finance, there was an issue of release of money to national medical stores. And she came here on the floor of the House and attacked me aggressively. And she said, in fact, the blood of those who are dying now is in the hands of this young man. She was here. And when I was going to see somebody in Chirudu, people surrounded me and they almost lynched me. I became scared, Madam Speaker. I called Mr. Ogwal, Mr. Smart Ogwal, for two reasons. I wanted to know whether Mama had an issue at home, because she had never attacked anybody in the house like she attacked me. But secondly, I also wanted to report her so that in case something happens, and he's here. Mr. Ogwal came, he drove, we sat in his car, a pickup, and I narrated my story and my fears. 2 days later, I met Cecilia Ogwal here in the lounge, And she looked at me and said, "You wanted us to divorce, we are not going to divorce." And I knew that Mr. Ogwal had done his job. I thank you so much, Mr. Ogwal. Madam Speaker, she was a prayer warrior and an intercessor to the extent that she had earned her permanent place on the program of the National Prayer Breakfast. Every 3rd or 4th of October, she would call me and say, "Son, what role are you giving me at the prayer breakfast?" And she one of the people who could pray and speak to God about somebody in the room without fear or favor. For the last few months, I know she has seen God darkly through the lenses of this terrible disease that she suffered. But now, last Thursday, she faced God face to face. I know, I'm comforted that as a believer, she's seated on the right-hand side of the Creator. She's seated on the right-hand side of Creator because we believe in Matthew 25:32 and other verses that we shall be separated according to what we do on earth. And I think what she did, she was a voice to the least in our community. She was a voice to those who had no voice. And Mama Cecilia Ogwal, we honor you. We are very happy that you contributed everything you had in your life. She was honored to have a long life in politics. Many of us never have that opportunity, but she used it greatly to impact the world. And I think she lived a life of purpose, a life of love, and a life of joy. Goodbye, Mama Cecilia Ogwal.
Thank you. Honorable Gwang Honorable Ministers, you'll allow me first get 5 people also from our party. Then I come back.
Madam Speaker and colleagues, permit me in a special way, Right Honorable Speaker, to read my message in memory of my dear mom here. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the 18th of January 2024, when our elder, our senior colleague, our mentor, a role model, Honorable Cecilia Barbara Atim Ogwal, was called by the Lord, will remain another dark day in our great parliament's history. She now joins our departed colleagues, notably the Right Honorable Jacob Lokoro Lanya, who we all respected and is in the heavens. The 11th Parliament has suffered these big losses in a period of 2.5 years, and may God have mercy on us. Right Honorable Speaker, before you lies an institution, a powerful story of our country's progress in terms of women emancipation, our society's pace setter, and an embodiment of the best of humanity. Before you lies the greatness. We mourn the passing of an icon, but also celebrate the fact that God gifted her to Uganda, and she lives the world better place through her deeds and the power of her example. Right Honorable Speaker, permit me share a few highlights of my own personal experiences with our departed mother. Atat was such a legend in our country's politics that some of us met her before physically meeting her purely through the stories we have heard of her leadership skills. I fondly remember my own mother, who was a staunch UPC person whom I buried last December. Atat to the UPC supporters like my mom in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Honorable Atat's commitments, consistency, eloquency, and leadership skills were always a reference point. The lesson we learn from this shining star is that in whatever we do in life, let's do it with all our hearts, all our minds, all our strength, all our souls. This is a trait that our dear leader, His Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, shares in common with our Tat Cecilia Ogwal, and it's not surprising that the two patriots and Pan-Africanists respect each other despite having a different opinion of politically. At Tat, we shall always remember and live by your mentorship and advice to have fidelity, the national interest, to rise above political party lines and serve the people of Uganda and Africa with one heart, irrespective of diversity of our political worldviews in a world that is increasingly polarized with politics of us against them. Either we win or they lose. Our mother stood out for our level-headedness, maturity, wise sense of judgment, but above all, patriotism. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I had the honor of serving with Tat in the Parliamentary Commission alongside the Right Honorable Prime Minister and my brother, Honorable Arenaite Rwakajara, where we all benefited immensely from Tat's mentorship, considering her rich experience as one of the longest-serving members of Parliament. Colleagues, in the course of duty, we traveled to different parts of the world, and she always reminded us to be mindful of our health, encouraging us to do regular checkups, balance our work as leaders with the family, and encouraging us to have our young families at all times. In my case, she met my dear wife and encouraged us with her own marriage experience to Papa Lamix, being an inspiration on family life, the value of family institution. As a voluntary marriage counselor to the young MPs, she was always a role model in that aspect of life, and we thank Mzee Lamix for giving our mother the best of her life during our time on earth. Colleagues, our icon has bowed out of the world with her head high. As a selfless person with a heart of gold, turning to the dot, what you saw in what you got. In my own experience, she was a mother indeed. One time, while on official duty to China, Tat and I were at the airport that I remember was Guangzhou. That day, the immigration desk were busy with thousands of travelers. Tat had a diplomatic passport and asked me to move with that for faster clearance. The authorities objected me since I didn't have the same passport. She stood her ground and told them that she will not be going to leave her son behind. Otherwise, she too will not go through the diplomatic clearance. That is the woman who is lying before us here. Until the Chinese authorities considered Tat as her son, me, I will always strive to live by your example. As Nelson Mandela said in 1993 at the funeral of Oliver Tambo, the ANC leader said, I quote, "I say that Oliver Tambo has not died because the ideals for which he sacrificed his life can never die." Indeed, at Tat, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal continues to live because the values she stood for live on us: patience, consistency, patriotism, Pan-Africanism, respect for divergent view, honesty, being straightforward, commitment to love, and for the family unity in diversity. At Tat, we shall not fail and forget you. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, lastly, I am aware that at the end of 2023, Tat was starting to work on her book project, but her health could not allow this happen. Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I suggest that the family begins this process and book project, and that we as members of parliament support in this family to document our icon's life as a gift to future generations and the institutions of parliament. Tat, may your soul rest on eternal peace. I thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you so much. In the public VIP gallery, we have Honorable Malinga Johnson. We also have Honorable Sarah Nakaunde. You're most welcome. Honorable Member,
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand and bring condolences from the people of West Budama
And
Central.
honorable members, when you finish speaking, we also want you to listen to others and be here in the evening to receive the president when he's coming to pay his last tribute to Atat. Yes.
I bring condolences from the people of West Budama Central and indeed Tororo District about the passing on of a gallant Ugandan. I think I want to agree with others who have described her, especially using the two words that she stood for. She stood in this parliament for God. She protected, she defended, promoted anything that would uplift, promote good faith in this house and also for this country. I happen to have seen her for the first time in 1996 in Tororo. I was in high school, and I think I had never seen anybody as powerful as Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. She had the late Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogere as the president, IPC. We had people like Axofer Ogola, and they roared Tororo. I can tell you that day, President Museveni was the second candidate in the whole of Tororo district. They won massively. When I went to study, I got some scholarship, and the son is here, Nick, came and met me for the first time from the airport at 2 a.m. And it was very moving to me. Before I came to this parliament, I got to know the family deeper through the son. But when I came to this parliament, I think you must have followed us the way we were debating here. Honorable members, we need to write our tribute while we are still alive. Honorable Cecilia did that. The tolerance the speaker is referring to, and everybody will acknowledge, she was very tolerant. People who are tolerant are really people who know more. People are patient with others. Even when you are saying something which is not pleasing to her, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal will listen to the end. And she loved you, Right Honorable Speaker. She did. Many times, she would tell me, she would summon me from here to there, and she would tell me a few privileged information. I knew she was really in love with you, and she wanted you to succeed as a speaker. This parliament, we witness many things. We get lost into many things, and we forget the main purpose of us being in this parliament. This parliament wants us to offer service to Ugandans. She would never be able to, you would never be able to know which political side she was, because she would give a statement that unifies. If Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi writes a minority report, like he's famously known as Mr. Minority, I would only want to see his Honorable Cecilia Ogwal's signature there. If it's not there, then it's a fake report. If her name is there, then you have to listen to the minority report. So, Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, you've lost a partner. The one who would validate your report, according to me. If I saw her signature, I would know that...
Honorable Aisha, Honorable Chivumbi is here. No. He will speak for himself. Let's not have that mood of argument. He's just cracking a joke. If Chivumbi himself is laughing,
And I would repeat this without fear of contradiction. And I said, according to me, the validation of the minority report, if I see Honorable Chivumbi and the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, I would know that report is authentic. And it has issues, not sentiments. So I am saying, the Budget Committee, Honorable Chivumbi, you've lost a great partner. And I believe many of you will agree with me. She was into issues, not sensations. She was into what are pertinent. I was seated there, and together with her classmate. I hope you'll give him an opportunity to speak. Honorable Mwebesa, same class in Nairobi. Only 3 of them are in this parliament. The Minister of Finance, Honorable Mwebesa, and now the late. 3 years together in Nairobi. And I think those are very different people. Let's love our country beyond we love our politics or political parties. Let's love Uganda more than we love ourselves. Let's not look at things that divide us, but look at things that will unite us. As a tribute to you, Mama Cecilia, you've left this country better than many years during the struggle. You worked with everybody. You were a Christian leader, you were a national leader, you were better than many of us. I wish we could learn from you so that you rest in peace. The people of Dokolo, they've lost a great leader. I remember one Supreme Court judge who passed on also. When he lost his mother, I sent my condolences through her. Justice Opia Wedding's mother when she died. And she represented me there. But Justice Opia Wedding told her that I want you never retire from politics. I want you again to contest. Now they are going to meet. Nobody knew that Justice Opia Wedding would go first and then she would follow. Why are we fighting? And for what are we fighting for? Mama, rest in peace.
Thank you so much. All honorable ministers, I'll come back to you a bit. Let me just give the Honorable Katuntu, Honorable Nandala, Honorable Emmanuel, Honorable Akena, and Honorable Abed.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I wish it were possible for the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal to be attending this session. By now, should have made some comments. Right Honorable Speaker, the year was 1988. I and the late Jacob Bolanya were asked to go and meet the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal on the first floor of Uganda House. At that time, she was the Deputy Secretary General, actually, of UPC, but acting Secretary General. Because the acting Secretary General at that time, Dr. John Lulza Kirunda, was in exile, the real Secretary General. And that's when my path started with the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. That is 6 years ago, and that's the journey we've walked together. When I walked in here, I had my ideas what I was going to say. But listening to the debate, I have changed. I hear you people paying tribute, and this becomes an academic debate. Why don't we learn from her and do exactly what she was doing? She was a patriot. She loved so and so. All this you've said, why don't we do it? I am a product of the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. For those who have followed, you know that there is something same between me and Mama. I never set out to be a politician. I was in the comfort zone of a professional, and I was cruising. I didn't realize that I'll go into the turbulence of politics. It was the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, the Honorable Benny Watcher, and the Honorable Patrick Monda who recruited us in politics. And the values they inculcated in us are the very values you guys are talking about. You need to have politics and your value addition. What do people talk about you when you die? People might struggle with words. Many people will not be here. Everybody is trying to grab a microphone because it was her. To the marginalized, the vulnerable groups, you've lost a very, very fearless fighter. Right Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, my mama, never looked at herself as a woman. She looked at herself as a leader. Let me give you an example. Right Honorable Speaker, she led a team of us, my seniors, the Honorable Okelo, I understand is up there, the Honorable Abedine Gongom, Professor Kagenda Atwoch, Professor Chichi Mujaju, Patrick Mwonda, mention it. And she was the only woman in that group. And she was the leader. So one day I was still young and a little bit not. I asked her, but why is this group you are the only woman here? She said, look at this stupid boy, I'm the only man here. And later she told me that is what Margaret Thatcher said at the time she was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and she had a cabinet full of men. So she fought for the women's cause, really not as a woman, but as a leader. And let me tell you one thing, she had a sense of humor. She has mentioned to many colleagues here, but it's an experience which is a little bit, it might be difficult for others to understand, but understand it, so try to understand it. When my economics was not doing very well, before, we used to drive to Bugorobi, me and the late Patrick Monda. And somehow, on a Friday, she would look after us. But she was mean also. Today, to pay tribute to her, I'm going to talk like indeed she would have talked. Because that's her. She was mean. So she would give us little money. Then chick I used to look in the bag. I said, but there's still more money there. So I did it twice. They said, stupid boy, stop looking in your mother's bag. Next time I'm going to put condoms there and I see whether you look there again. I can tell you, if you are talking about a mother with a sense of humor who loved her children, forget about the biological kid brothers of mine, but all of us, at some time the love for us who were like adopted was the same like to the Nikis. She really loved us equally. So I asked her one time that why are you always speaking the way you do? Then she said it is in the interest of you young boys. Because when you get married, you need to understand your wives. If they speak to you like that, don't think they don't love you. Because you know even your mother speaks like that, but she loves you. And that way, I'm going to save your marriages, but also to tell you respect the voice of women. Whatever they do, or even if they raise their voice, don't think they are disrespecting you. Because even your mother raises voices at home. I mean, there's everything to talk about Cecilia. Last time, the business she last attended in this house was a committee which I was chairing. And as usual, Honorable Silas has walked out. He was raising so many issues, but we are preparing for the speakers to come. Then one asked, what if we are assigning what we call courtesy MPs to each speaker? Then the Honorable Silas asked, what if the speaker, my principal speaker, asks me, can I have some fun somewhere and so on? Then she immediately stood up and said, can I answer that one straight away? We told her you are not going to answer because we know your answer. Why? Because there is no way she would allow anything UNESCO under any circumstances. And that is what they call the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. ESCO, can I allow me to finish? I'm talking about somebody I've known for 36 years, personally. It's not like I've read about it. My only life, the last 37 years, has been intertwined with the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal's life. Let me tell you one thing, you career women. One thing you should learn from her. Here, in these chambers, if you're a career woman, you must have 2-3 biological children. Not so. Yes? 2-3, at most 4. How many of you have the same biological children in number like the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal? Not many. So it tells you what the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal was. She was ready to play her role as a mother and not to go to these career limitations. That because I am red, because I'm a member of parliament, I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 children. She went all the way, and all my brothers and my sisters are there. They are well educated, and we want to thank the Honorable Cecilia Ogwal on this. To the family, I'd like to thank you and also apologize. I'd like to thank you and also apologize. Because we took over your home and it became our office and home. When we were evicted from Uganda House, by the way, we were once evicted from Uganda House. We were evicted. When we evicted from Uganda House, we shifted to Bugolobi and turned Mr. Ogwal's sitting room into our office. Every day, we disrupted the entire family network because we are doing national work in her house. For that, we'd like to thank you people, the family, for having allowed us, the Uganda People's Congress at that time, to conduct our affairs at the home where you should have enjoyed your privacy. Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, in matters of the country, she didn't have privacy. She allowed us to do whatever we wanted. She fed us. Right, Honorable Speaker, I end on this note. And it's personal. To tell you how close we are. When she made that famous speech in Mozambique, she flew because we are doing something at the Pan-African Parliament in Midrand, South Africa. So she asked me to book her the room and the hotel, which I did. She was coming to meet former President Olusegun Obasanjo. So the following morning when the president's office staff came to pick her, she was at the restaurant having breakfast, and she had forgotten her handbag. She told a white assistant manager lady who was there that, "Go and call me that boy." This assistant manager was looking for the boy, he couldn't see. Said, "Madam, I've not seen the boy." Said, "That one putting on his suit, that one." Now, this lady came and she was uncomfortable to tell me the very word. He said, "There is an old lady looking for you." I said, "Who?" He said, "The other one." So I walked with her. They said, "I'm calling you, and what are you doing?" "Go to my room and get my bag." So she gave me her card. I went to her room, picked her handbag, because she hadn't traveled for breakfast with the handbag. So when I came back with the bag, I was holding it like the women do over my shoulders. They said, "Look what this stupid boy. Am I your girlfriend? How do you hold my bag like that? Your mother's bag, you can't hold it in with both hands." And I started looking at the Muzungu woman, and I'm like, "Oh my God, am I not getting embarrassed here?" By the way, that was my mother, the Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal. Mama,
Thank you.
travel well till we meet again.
Thank you. Thank you for being a good son. Honorable Nathan.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I am Honorable Cecilia Ogwal's other son. And when we are going to speak, we have seen here longer than majority of you who are talking. And we want to ask you to listen to us. And this is in good faith, because if you want to learn to listen. Madam Speaker, my mother, Cecilia Ogwal, she used to call herself, "I'm the last chairman." She used to want to call herself chairman. When they made the constitution amendment, when they made the constitution to introduce, instead of a chairman, a chairperson, she said she is a chairman, because she led a bank which was called African Uganda Development Bank, UDB. And during her term as a chairman, it did a lot of progress. And what some of us are trying to get here do, we're doing it in a negative direction. I met my mother, Cecilia Ogwal, when she used to come to our home when I was a younger man. I come from a UPC family. My mother and my father were congressmen, and the UPC knew where to go. And she would come and stay at our home. I was a young man. And she looked at me and said, he told my parents, "We need to work with this one." And the UPC knew how to do it. They would go in secondary schools and look for bright boys to go in the homes of ministers during holidays. If I say boys, because I was in Mwiri, I never knew they were also going to the girls' schools. But I think even the girls' schools, they used to go there. I personally, I stayed in Mateke's home in Kororo, a man from Chisoro. I'm from Obugisu, living in Masetekuya, Kirunda Chivejenja from the east. What were they preaching? Rules of Kirunda, they were preaching nationalism. It is unfortunate, and we just want to tell Jimmy Akena that you should thank Honorable Okupa Elijah. Otherwise, you would not be a chairman, you would not be a president of UPC. We would be the ones there. Yes, you heard Honorable Katonto said they were chased. We wanted to go to capture Uganda House. So as younger men, when that was in the 7th Parliament, we had the steps planning to go and capture Uganda House. Mama Cecilia comes with the letter Ekuro, a pack, doctor. They were coming from meeting from Serena. Then they looked at, she used to look at me and say, me, I was the worst, I think I was always eager to act. He said, "You boys, you're after something wrong. You are going to do something. Okupa came up and said, Mama, we're going to capture Uganda House. Then Okule Park and the Mama said, please leave, we're going to handle it. And that's why we never went to capture, and you're able to come and get it there. Otherwise, we would be the ones in the church. So you must thank Mama Cecilia Ogwal lying here. Madam Speaker, during the CA, when people were going to contest for CA, you had to get a clearance from Ministry of Finance. And I have two experiences which I will speak about. One of them is the Right Honorable Kadaga and her. The government then, using some methods, we would use taxes for you not to stand, so you don't get clearance. So Rebecca Kadaga had a law firm, had arbitrary estimates. Madam Cecilia Ogwal, you know she was a businessman, all of you know Lila Millers. She had estimates. I am here standing to make a decision. I wrote a note to the Secretary that I have cleared these two ladies because these are just estimates. Otherwise, you are just these people are planning to stop them to go under contest for CA. Mama Cecilia Ogwal came and said, you are a true son and a true Ugandan. And from that day, she confirmed, I am one of her sons. In 2001, I come to Parliament. I get Mama Cecilia. She was there for us. Again, we must tell the people of Uganda, sometimes we never did the undoables because Mama would say, today, no action. No action. When she would say, cease fire, we would do it. And when she would say, go and say like this, we would do it. And whenever we would speak, you must look in our direction to ensure that you are not disappointing her, otherwise you will be in a problem. That's the life we led. As much as we have grown like this, up to now we're looking at her. You would see me going to her, she would call me like this, and I go there. So, Madam Speaker, in that context, that's why I want to thank such leaders. You people clamor for committees. Mama Cecilia, new figures. These are the women who did the BCom when it was still in Nairobi. To go and do commerce, you must be bright. That's why, is it Mwebesa or something? The Minister of Finance did it. Of course, they know where BCom wasn't in Makerere. And when she went to a budget committee, she knew what to say. And that's why OO is right, that whenever she would sign on a report, you would know their figures. You see here people clamoring for committees for the sake, without even an idea how to go and operate there. And Madam Speaker, during this time, we have already finished 2.5 years. Look through it further. Should a person go to a committee for the sake of going to sit there and take tea and to claim that he is a member of that committee without competency? Without competency? Now we're talking about Mama Cecilia would come with figures because she had the competence. And you will see everybody, when they're talking about it, everybody is jumping up to speak. You don't know how the figure was derived, but you are speaking. Colleagues, I have seen Mama Cecilia, I am worried for you women. Now they are gagging you against her. I don't know which woman will take her mantle. I am worried. I am worried. When she would speak, even us, we have sons and the men who are bright would keep what? Quiet. Now I have not seen any woman who is going to speak here and we keep quiet without putting her on order. This parliament must grow. As Honorable Katonto said, we must practice what she was doing. She could debate in this house without fear or favor. She was a nationalist. And some of us here come to debate as if we are debating for only your home, which is very dangerous for this country. Mama Cecilia, I can tell you, these women you have left, some of them never wanted to learn. But I hope from the speeches which are taking place, they are going to check themselves and start learning. I'm about to finish. One MP here was giving Katundu, wanted to give Honorable Katundu information. There are people who can give people Katundu on and other information. You don't just jump up and say information. What do you know? Huh? I am the one who can tell you cartoon. If I the one who had got up to speak, he would have sat down.
Nathan.
But what I'm trying to say that
Nathan,
we must learn.
there's information from Asuman.
Okay, Asuman, you're a fellow lawyer. You can come and.
And the other thing is the whips. I mean, the leadership of committees are assigned by whips. Nobody goes there on his own, and people learn. It is not the speaker that assigns. Yes.
Thank you very much, my honorable colleague, for giving way. The information I actually want to give relates to the fact that it is possible for a novice to give information in an area where he is competent about. It may not really be necessarily on account of age or experience in parliament. And that's the information I want to give. But I also wanted to test whether you would allow me to give you information.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for that. Madam Speaker, I want to say thank you so much.
Nathan, can we conclude? Everybody wants to speak.
Just concluding now. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you as a party. What I've raised, I gave it in a good context. And sometimes we need to give information based in Parliament on research. When you are debating an issue about Cecilia, we give it in real time. Madam Speaker, I also want to thank Mr. Smart for having looked after Mama. You know, Mr. Smart is from Soga College Mwiri. Mwiri boys are the best boys in this country. And the Mwiri boys are the most handsome boys. And I'm one of them, Madam
Unfortunately, you are not.
Madam Speaker, you know it. Finally, Madam Speaker, to my brothers and sisters whom Mommy has left, you have a big family. We are here. Don't go hungry. Don't be alone. We are part of you. I can tell you, we are going to tell you where we are got. And we have been in your home many times. In that context, as a part of this, also thank you, members of Parliament, for being here to pay tribute to my ma, as FDC, and the country for really honoring our member, Mama Cecilia Atim Ogwal. Mama, travel well. May your soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much. Everybody here was either daughter or son to Mama Cecilia, and in the VIP gallery we have Honorable Tofas, the ambassador to Japan. Honorable, you're welcome. We also have Honorable Bihande. Honorable Bihande, you're most welcome. Thank you for coming. We have Honorable Mutuza Peter. Honorable Mutuza Peter, former MP. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, Emmanuel. Then Honorable Akena.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Members, let's 2 minutes.
I'm here to support the motion to pay tribute to our mother. Madam Speaker, when I heard about the death of Mama Cecilia, I cried. Yesterday I came here, when the front there was being prepared, alone I cried. And today in the morning when I saw the body, I cried. For 3 attributes. One of them has already been mentioned. And that is the fact that Mama would still criticize the government, but with respect. I felt we need more people who can still criticize, but with respect. Number 2, we have heard here about her contribution in the budget committee. And sometimes they would even come up with a minority report. But one aspect which I mourned for was that even when she's a signatory to the minority report, in the debate here, Mama will be fighting for a situation where there will be a compromise. I still remember the days when they would walk out with the ministers of finance to go and find a meeting point. And I thought that was very important. We need
people, even where we disagree, we should be looking for a headway. We should be looking for a meeting point where we take our decisions. And the third aspect, I am very happy I'm speaking this when the element of reconciliation. I remember during the elections for the speakers, after the results was announced, I remember our mother walked, got Honorable Kadaga and took to Olanya to greet, to show that we need to reconcile and move on. So these were the three attributes for which I have mourned. Because I am also looking around and I'm seeing who are going to be the people who are going to be making sure that we are reconciling, even if we have disagreed. We are having a meeting point, even when maybe we have different reports. It's important for us to carry that kind of attribute in our house here. Because otherwise, how else are we going to say we are speaking for the country if we are going to stay in our positions, in our blocks, without looking for areas of reconciliation? So I think that is important. Madam Speaker, thank you so much. Those were the three attributes for which I have cried. Mama, rest in peace.
Thank you, Jimmy. Honorable members, let's respect 2 minutes. I don't know what my technical team is doing. Former President. Yes, Jimmy.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Uganda People's Congress and on my own behalf, we would like to extend our sincere condolences to the family and to the nation for the loss of a true patriot. I also want to point out that in support of the motion, there were some inaccuracies contained in the mover, Prime Minister's motion. And this is the position of Acting Secretary General and that period in which it was stated in that motion. I want to state clearly that in November of 1980, the Uganda People's Congress had a delegates conference at the conference center, now Serena. At that delegates conference, the team which was put in place to lead the UPC into the general elections, Cecilia Ogwal got the position of Assistant Secretary General, which was the de facto number 4 in the party. After the coup of 1985, with the president of UPC in Zambia and the Secretary General partly in Zambia and in Zimbabwe, and at that time our Vice President of Uganda People's Congress in Luzira, Cecilia Ogwal was the senior most leader of Uganda People's Congress and hence took the role as a de facto leader in the party. Even at the time when UPC was in government, as Assistant Secretary General, Cecilia Ogwal handled the administration of the party. So her office and her base was in Uganda House, first floor, where my colleagues went to meet her. No, I am not going to go into that one. I'm putting the record straight. On this particular point, I want to thank our forefathers in UPC for identifying talent way back then. In 1980, a youthful young lady was put in a very senior position of a leading party and held that position and did not disappoint. So when we have seen the product or the output, there were those who recognized it much earlier and put her in a position where she could shine. As Uganda, we have benefited from giving her that opportunity and breaking the glass ceiling, as the Minister of Gender says, opening the door to the young women of Uganda to know that leadership is available. I must also appreciate Lamek for giving her that opportunity to shine, for allowing her and for supporting her in this difficult political journey, which has a lot of treachery, misunderstandings, and a lot of backstabbing. I also bring a condolence message from my mother, whom Cecilia Ogwal sought to honor under the Pan-African Women's Organization and was able to go to Addis Ababa, where they were honored for their contribution to the women's struggle. She was unable to come to the family home, but she sends us sincere condolences. May the soul of Cecilia Ogwal rest in eternal peace.
Thank you so much. We also thank the President Museveni for giving an opportunity to the First Lady of UPC. Thank you so much.
Speaker.
Dr. Bedi.
Thank you. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I bring our condolences from Masaka City. The late Cecilia Ogwal represents the woman, the virtuous woman that the Bible speaks about in Proverbs chapter 31. A woman that does business, that supports her home, a woman that excels at her place of work. The late Honorable Cecilia Ogwal debated with quality. She always debated from an informed point of view, researched. I was always thrilled when I went near her, and she had these files full of information. I looked at her when she was giving her last speech, which you have posted for us, and she was reading from her tab. She researched. I can hear the voice of Honorable Katuntu. What do we learn from her? It is important when we are debating not only to have an opportunity to speak, but we must speak from an informed point of view. That's what she represented. Because the information that is researched is key if we are going to make decisions. Right Honorable Speaker, Cecilia, Mama Cecilia, she also debated and practiced politics that is balanced. I saw you looking at our side and you said, you don't know whether there is someone. I am there and we are there. Right Honorable Speaker, I represent politicians that must be balanced. God first and this nation must be second. Anything else must come after the nation. That's what Honorable Cecilia represented. Sometimes we dwell in the politics of parties, politics of where we come from, and forget this nation. This woman that we are celebrating, she represented, her politics represented the nation. I can hear people when they say she was a nationalist. Nationalism has some negative connotations. I think she was a patriot. She was a patriot. That's the right description of Right Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. Rest well, rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Honorable Ravirama. I'll come back, Aisha. I'm coming back. Honorable Ravirama, Honorable Musasi, Henry,
Right,
Honorable Mwebesa. Yes.
Thank you, Right
I am
Honourable
coming
Speaker.
back. You're all going to speak. We're only going to reduce the
I
time.
support the motion to pay tribute to my auntie, late Cecilia Ogwal. Right Honourable Speaker, the motion read by the Prime Minister say wholesomely the attributes of who the person we are mourning today. Right Honourable Speaker, I support the motion and I want to expound on very few areas. One is that the late Cecilia Ogwal was an objective legislator and a rational leader. The late would oppose the motion to develop, but not to fail. Many times, she would support motions on the floor brought by the government side. And many times she would expose the contamination in motions brought by the executive. So late was an objective legislator. She was also a rational leader. Today is a testimony. All of us from different political divide converged here today. People who left Parliament in the 6th Parliament, in the 7th Parliament, are here today. It sends a message who she was. And it should send a message to all of us that when we are dead, what will they speak about us? There are many people who would gamble to look for what to speak about. I can speak for the whole day. I associate myself with the messages by Honorable Katuntu and Honorable Mafabi Nandari. That was Cecilia Atim. Right Honorable Speaker, we are mourning an objective legislator and we honor a rational leader. I want to thank the President for according her an official burial, and I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for your inestimable contribution towards her health and also the program of her decent send-off. Rest in peace, my auntie. God bless you. We shall meet in heaven. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for your attention.
Thank you so much, Muze. Yes, Henry.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the people of Rwanda East constituency and the people of Rwanda District and Chigezi Sub-Region, I would like to extend my sincere condolences to the passing of Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. Right Honorable Speaker, I joined this parliament at the age of 30 in 2011. The first people who saw me and picked interest in me was Adolf Mwesige, who is the current clerk, was Cecilia Ogwal, and Honorable Kasuyano Wadiri. Whenever we would come here to debate, Cecilia would call me aside and guide me as a young man. We did a number of business together in the committees where I was. I want to remember the two incidents. Cecilia, when we were enacting the Public Finance Management Act, which we started in 2014 and stretched us for 1 year and a half, Honorable Cecilia made me learn and appreciate the powers of Parliament. She was always concerned that the law which had been proposed was taking away the powers of Parliament to ensure that the powers of Parliament were maintained both through the same act and fighting to ensure that the Budget Act was not repealed. The second incident I want to remember Honorable Cecilia for was our experience from the Budget Committee. As Honorable both said, Cecilia Ogwal and Honorable Chivumbi were always on the side of supporting the minority report. But whenever we would come here to debate both the main and the minority report, at the end of the day, we would achieve consensus and Honorable Cecilia would allow the government side and the main report to carry the day. Lastly, was on the corporate governance. As a graduate of BCom, as you have heard, she graduated with BCom in 1969. Later on in 2005, I also graduated with a BCom. And one of the key areas of concentration in the BCom is corporate governance. Cecilia Ogwal was a corporate governance defender, and in 2010, together with her, she moved a motion to establish the Corporate Governance Institute, which I seconded. It is unfortunate that she has passed before we have established this institute. We shall carry on the mantle, and the future will see Uganda with the Institute of Corporate Governance. I want to once again wish her eternal rest, and I want to really thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and the President of Uganda, and particularly you, for meeting all the costs of her send-off. May God grant her eternal rest.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mwebesa. Honorable Anifa.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join the rest of my colleagues to pay tribute to our friend, our mentor and sister, Atat Cecilia Ogwal. Right Honorable Speaker, I stand here in pain. From 1994, with my colleague Honorable Ruth Nankabirwa, an ex-official, I am the only one remaining from those ones who participated in the Constituent Assembly. We looked high to her mentorship and guidance. I want us first of all to thank Honorable Dareti now for the peace and stability we're enjoying. She contributed so much to ensure that there was political inclusiveness. Where we are cantankerous in the CA, under the movement, arrangement, she calmed all of us, brought us together, and she brought sense into us to accept that we can coexist and the country can remain stable. And she did it. And I want to thank her for that. Right Honorable Speaker, again I want to thank her for a constitution that is gender sensitive across the continent. Those who have taken time to read the constitution, you can see it is a constitution that so much had a thinking towards the girl child. When we reached at all the articles, let it be human rights, let it be for political inclusion, which allows decision participation. She emphasized and ensured and whipped all of us, despite from different ideologies, that we must look at ourselves as women. And she was our leader. She was our focus. That's how we came out with that constitution that is the first gender-sensitive constitution that considers a girl child. Every lady, every woman here and outside there, we should appreciate her. We should be grateful. I am speaking this because that's the journey I started with her. And I want us, again, to look at Cecilia Ogwal as a mother. Her first thing would say, girls, you are young, but you must take yourselves to know that you are mothers, you have homes, you have husbands. Don't mix things. And she instilled that into us. At our young age, she made sure that we concentrate once we are doing the duties, but at the same time, we should respect ourselves. We should respect ourselves as a woman. We should respect ourselves as a girl child. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, you said she was prayerful. And I want to confirm that. And I know they have read out how many forums she belonged to. She was not only prayerful, her prayer was always received by the Lord. She was sincere in her prayer. Many of you, you say you are prayerful, you are this, you are that, but inside yourselves, you are not. And you know these prayers, some of them you can pray the whole day, the whole evening, but there are those ones which God receives directly. And Cecilia's prayers were one of them. Many can testify to that. I'll come to that one as I end. Right Honorable Speaker, I knew you for a long time. I wouldn't say when. But I'm happy that you merited Cecilia Ogwal. Your humanity to reach out to people, to touch people's heart, to care about others, to think about others above yourself. You got it from her. She was close to you, and you are also instilling it into others. Even those who are not in your party, you call them, you mentor them, you counsel them. That's what she did. I would have said much. Much has been said. As I've said, I walked the journey with her from 1993 when we had started 94 up to today. To have been here other than her mentorship and counseling me. My political journey, she would put me aside. Even this time, lastly, I am at pain. I left a mic like today. I moved out. She phoned me. She asked me, daughter of chairman, UPC. I said no. I am now daughter of chairman NRM. I am always praying for you. I said, I know. Let's pray. She took me aside. She held my hands. I was traveling to India. This is my first appearance to come back here. We prayed. And she said, I wish you well. I know you'll make it. She came, found me there. I am at pain she didn't come back. After wishing me well to return, she's here before us. She has left a legacy. My colleagues, the women, let's unite together. That's what Cecilia Ogwal believed and trusted. These parties we are in are just parties, but we are women. At the end of it, we are women. It hurts me. I always try to reach out to some of my colleagues on the other side. Some of you, most of you, I'm called Senga here, not for just Senga, for a purpose. But those who are not reaching out to a fellow woman colleague, let's find our souls and we pay back to Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. My mentor, you were a source of my strength. You have left me here in the 11th Parliament. I'm still growing strong by God's grace. I may see myself in 12th Parliament to carry on. That at the end of that day, we are all women. Rest in peace. I know you have gone to join the road. Those who die in the 12th Parliament, those who die in the road will definitely resurrect. And those of you who have not prepared yourselves and you want to meet her, prepare yourself, accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, you will meet her. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Honorable Nifa, Honorable Samuel Helen, then we will have the children and peace. Then we go to the other side again. I'll come back to all of you.
Okay,
Wapa, you will speak.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I stand here to add my voice to support the motion that was moved. First of all, I want to add my voice to Honorable Anifa for thanking you, the Speaker, for the heart you have, because I know that even before you became a speaker, you used to do a lot of support to fellow colleagues. For us who are in the 10th parliament, know what you used to do. And it's not that you are doing it because you're a speaker, but it's your character. Unfortunately, you will not be speaking in this house like Cecilia, because I know you'd be doing some of those things. But in terms of supporting people, you are always there, and your phone is always open. I'm a testimony to this, because I've always called you to inform about certain people's sicknesses, and you pick your call and say, I'm going to act. I think we want to pay tribute also to you, the speaker, for that kind heart. Right, Mr. Speaker, we have lost a voice of reason. Mama here was a very good person in talking for reason. She was a woman member of parliament of Dokolo. But she was very cooperative with the male counterpart. By then it was only Okotogong. When there's anything discussed here, you see Mama running in the corridor, say, where has Honorable Okot left the house? Let him go back. And she pushes him back in the house. Then I ask her, why are you pushing him back? I said, do you want Dokolo to miss? We must all be in the house to listen. And she used to, the other one is NRM, this was UPC. Some of us here, people in their constituencies, don't even meet. A woman MP and a male one don't want to meet. But for Dokolo, it was a unity. More time, Madam Speaker, just to finish. Madam Speaker, can I have 1 minute? Right Honourable Speaker, you realize that Mama Cecilia would be concerned about everybody, and especially as the women. When I came here in the 9th Parliament, she said, you know, previously, we couldn't talk to you people. We could talk in the toilet if we have to guide you. But now that things have been relaxed, please don't avoid to come to me for guidance, because I've been in this house. And some of us, through inductions, Mama Cecilia taught us how to talk, taught us how to dress, taught us how to behave. And she will warn you, if you're a woman and you come here and be careless, they will use you and dump you. Those were her words. And she would warn us and say, don't think there's love in this house. If you have come with and I want. In conclusion, Mama Cecilia loved departing. Mama Pipila loved herself. She enjoyed herself. And I'll witness when my daughter wedded, Cecilia danced with her. And I've been in pain for the last 3 days. I said, what is this? And I thought, because my daughter has gone to Dokolo, she was going to be the mentor there. But it's unfortunate she has gone.
Minister of Children. Honorable Sarah Mateke.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also stand here to support the motion, and I bring condolences from the people of Kisoro and Kigezi, and in particular, condolences from Dr. Philemon Mateke, who happens to be former UPC, but is now NRM. He's no longer UPC. Right Honorable Speaker, I would want to thank God for the life of Honorable Cecilia, and I'll only speak only 2 things. I met her in 9th Parliament, and when I reached here and she realized I had that name, she told me, you are our blood. Please do right things. But I didn't know what she was meaning, that I was their blood. I only got to know the blood when I was appointed as the Minister of State for Children and Youth. And then she called me aside and said, do you know, my daughter, the task ahead of you is very big. You have come at a time when we have a lot of early marriages, a lot of child marriages, a lot of defilement cases, but I've given you one. Can you close the market of Arapai? Those who know it, know it. It's unfortunate, Right Honorable Speaker, that she has gone before we would address that, but I pray that we shall have an end to the Arapai market where our girls are being sold. May her soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, please.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I bring tributes from the Pan-African Women Organization, where Honorable Cecilia Atim Ogwal has been serving as the chairperson for the Uganda chapter. First of all, she is one of those who drafted not only take it at a local level. She penetrated the international community, and she recruited all of us. Whoever should realize can connect with the international organizations, she recruited us. I am one of the members. And the first time she ushered me into that organization, she used her own money to buy even a ticket, because I told her minister does not have the money for flying abroad. So she said, there is no way Uganda will not be represented in that organization when I want to lobby that Uganda hosts an office for the East and Horn of Africa. We went to Namibia in 2020 with Grace Caballo and herself, sponsored by herself 100%. And at that time, she mobilized the whole, about 150 members were there, others with big delegations. For us from Uganda were only 2. But she ensured that we managed to win the secretariat. And we now have the Secretary General of the Pan-African Women Organization from Uganda, because she did a thorough mobilization. She was a mentor. And I'm happy the Minister of Gender, I'm the 4th person to speak from that ministry, because whoever came to the ministry, she would have to mentor you into what you are supposed to do to legislate properly and represent women. But besides that, she also mentored many others. And if she wanted to mentor a woman, she would not come to attack you on the floor of Parliament. She would call you aside. I know mentorship goes in here, even when our colleagues are attacking us. But we are paying tributes for the good attributes she had. She would call you aside and tell you what you are supposed to do and how you are expected to behave as a woman. In 2020, there is a time during COVID when she wanted us to host the Pan-African Women Club in Uganda. Every place was closed and locked. It is only Cecilia Atim Ogwal that would convince the president that we should host it here in Uganda at the time of a tight closure. And she managed. And many countries flew, many people flew from all over to Uganda here, even during that tight time when everybody and everything was closed, and we hosted it. And on many occasions, when we would not have money to run the office, it is only her, because as a minister, there is no way I would run to the president. But if you said, Honorable Cecilia, please ring your brother, and he had no guts to say no. So that office has always been fully funded because Honorable Cecilia stood in the gap. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. Honorable Ministers, I'm still coming back to you. You sit. Let's balance the house. Amero, Honorable Amero, Honorable Kotogong is not there. Honorable Naomi, Dokolo is there. Honorable Naomi, Elijah, Segona, Rohonda, let's first have that list. All of you are going to speak.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I join the rest of colleagues to pay tribute to Mama Cecilia Ogwal.
Honorable members, let's get information from people who have been here longer for us to be able to learn, understand the person that we are paying tribute to. I don't think a person like Abe would be competent enough to talk a lot about Cisse. So let's first hear from people who have been together with the Imad for us to be able to understand the kind of person she was. Yes, Amero.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to start to say that many women here, we stand up and say that we are virtuous women. But if we want to know a virtuous woman, it is Honorable Cecilia Ogwal who is a virtuous woman. Proverbs 31:10-31 will tell you who Honorable Cecilia Ogwal was. Madam Speaker, in the same vein, I also want to thank you for the way you stand with us whenever we have problems. You have gone out of your way not just to help, but to own up our problems. Thank you so much. We pray for you. May God bless you. Madam Speaker, we have spoken about Mama Atat. There's a question I want to ask ourselves. Madam Speaker, if we go to the Cancer Institute here in the hospital, people are sleeping down. We have the manpower. What don't we have? Why should we congest all these hospitals in one place where there's no land for expansion? Is it possible for this house to stand up so that we have these hospitals put in different regions so that our people can access treatment? We are talking about medical checkups. Do we all go for medical checkups? We are here and seated on a time bomb because of what we are eating is not very healthy. Are we really fair to ourselves? With the nature of work that we are doing, Madam Speaker, we really need to attend to ourselves very carefully. Right Honorable Speaker, Mama was to be flown to India. What about the local woman in Amuria? Why don't we as a house stand up in recognition of Mama lying before us here and push that the structures, that the services that we need be taken closer to the people so that our people can be able to benefit? I thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to raise this.
Thank you. Honorable Kotogong.
Madam Speaker, Imad served as a Member of Parliament for Dokolo District, where I am the Member of Parliament for Dokolo South. All members of Parliament, Imad was a special person, very unique. You will agree with me that Imad was very intelligent. Our intelligence quotient was more than all of us here. She has emotional intelligence also. Imad served us very well. And as people of Dokolo, we are mourning her. We are mourning her, and at the same time, we want to pay tribute for what she did for our district, Dokolo. Madam Speaker, Imad would build houses for old.
Please switch on.
She would build these small houses. She would buy blankets for them. She would feed them during Christmas. Now, who will feed these people during Christmas again?
You.
We have missed her. We were doing it together with her.
Honorable Kotogong, you need to take over from where Imad stopped.
That is what I'm saying. Madam Speaker, I was actually saying that now that she's not there, I'm going to be alone to perform our duties. And I swear before God that I will do it perfectly. Madam Speaker, and honorable members of Parliament, I might love the women members of Parliament. I might love you so, so much. She's already talking about women emancipation and empowerment. I might also love you so much. As members of Parliament for Dokolo, we would like to thank you for what you have done, for the decent burial, send-off of a mat. We are deeply grateful to you on behalf of the people of Dokolo. We want to convey our gratitude to the President also for the support that he has given. Ahmad and President Museveni, they are one. She would be in opposition, but where matters of the country comes, him and Ahmad would be one. And that's why we are going to miss her so, so much. Ahmad loved the girl child. In Dokolo, she would, after primary examination results is out, she would buy mattresses for girls who got first grade. All of them should buy for them. So this is a person we are going to miss as the people of Dokolo district. As a country, Madam Speaker, Ahmad stood for justice, love, and equality. Ahmad wanted everybody to get the benefit of our country. She wanted everyone to be at peace. I remember one time when there was coin, and we had recruited 20,000 militia. Ahmad was one of the commanders. Yes, Ahmad was one of the commanders, putting on uniform to encourage our young boys and girls. This is the person we are going to miss. Honourable members, allow me on behalf of the to convey this small message that Ahmad was sent by God. She was identified before she was born. Before she was born. And as you are aware, in Lango culture those days, women were not allowed to go to school. They were supposed to remain at home and only wait to be married. But during those days, our father noticed something very unique in her. And she was sent to school. And in school, she was the best in mathematics. There was mathematics challenge all over the country. Emerged the best in mathematics. She was the best. And that's why I said her IQ was very high. A lady of virtue. At home, she's a lady. She's a woman. She's a wife. She's a mother. And that is what I want women in this parliament and the country to emulate. As a member of parliament, as a lady in parliament, as a woman MP, take your responsibility seriously. And men, we are supposed to love and support our families. And that is our role. Madam Speaker, allow me to wind up by saying, on behalf of our people, so dearly. But our flames and memories will remain in us. Will remain indelible in our hearts and in our spirits. We'll miss her, but we'll always remember her. Ahmad, go in peace, fare thee well.
Thank you so much. And that's why I was telling you we have an extended version of Ahmad in Dr. Rosemary Ogwal. So she has left a legacy behind. Yes, Naomi?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I bring condolences from my constituency, Rushenyi, to the people of Dokolo, to FDC, UPC, and to this parliament, and to the family. Madam Speaker, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal is mourned by the whole country. Those people outside, if they had a chance to speak, I think would spend like a month speaking about Honorable Ogwal, just because of her character. Like other people said, I also joined this parliament when she had come from CA in the 6th parliament. We had an association which brought us together because there were no parties by then. And we decided to form an association called Young Parliamentary Association. Honorable Cecilia Ogwal was, of course, old. He could not fit, but he would still be with us. I invited her to Ntungamo by then, and she came among other members. And I want to tell you that when the people of Ntungamo saw her, the love that I got because of bringing Cecilia Ogwal to Ntungamo was beyond. Honorable Cecilia Ogwal was very generous. I one time met her in the bank. She had these pay slips. They were like 100. Then I said, Mama, what is this you are paying for? Is it, do you have a school yet? But then a school you wouldn't. She said, my daughter, I am paying school fees for those people from my constituency. They were like 100, Honorable Speaker. I think none of us can afford that. And paying from her own, paying for children who could not afford school fees. That's why I'm feeling so sad. Probably what you have suggested, that maybe they consider their daughter to take on the mantle, because I don't know who is going to fit in the, who is going to sit in the feet and fit in the feet of Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. Because that heart of giving all, and you don't, no wonder. That's why they were electing her in and out, in and out. I think even this time, they would have still brought her that age. I wish we could all emulate her generosity and maybe contribute.
Thank you. In the public gallery, we have Madame Amina. Let's see. Shows somewhere there. Thank you. Elijah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when the news broke, that morning I woke up and went home, and I saw Muse Lamek. He held my hand. I was crying, but he says, no, don't cry, our son. Your mother, when he was in Mulago Hospital, had the courage, and she would speak to the doctors. Even the doctors told me that they have never seen a patient with such strength, even despite what was diagnosed. That was the strength of Mama Cecilia Ogwal, whom I came to know in 1996, were with Honorable Betty Amongi at Makerere University, when they were campaigning with Dr. Semogerere. I have no regrets that I was brought up in the UPC family. I have no regrets that I have the roots in the UPC family. Right Honorable Speaker, we have learned a lot from the from the late Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. And one thing I learned from her is that she never wanted to see animosity between
colleagues, between friends. That's why she would always reach out. And I learned from her. Everybody in this house and those out there knew the rift that was between Honorable Andy Fakawaya, it's unfortunate she has left, and Honorable Sechkubo. When I was in India, Honorable Andy Fakawaya was in the hospital. We went to see her with the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. Honorable Andy Fakawaya said, Elijah, you're a friend of Sechkubo. I don't want to die with pain in my heart, the grudge between us. Can you go and speak to Honorable Sechkubo? I came, we sat in the other corner with Honorable Sechkubo and told him, he laughed at it. He said, no. That friend of yours, no, I can't. The third time I spoke to Sechkubo, he said, can we meet? And again, we met in that corner. And Honorable Andy Fakawaya joined us. I have that photo. From that day, Honorable Andy Fakawaya and Honorable Sechkubo have become one. That is what I picked from Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. She never wanted to see us fight. After we passed, she told me after we passed, there was a motion of no confidence to His Excellency. They had developed a rift between Parliament and the President. She told me they went to meet the President. Honorable Sekandi, Vice President, was there. Honorable Dr. Rugunda, the Vice Chairman, NRM, the Right Honorable Kadaga. The President was fuming. And after speaking to them, he says, I don't even know how I ended up being crafted, because I thought this was an NRM thing. After that, the President asked, you haven't asked the members. All the men kept quiet. She said, she raised her hand and said, can we pray? After the prayer, the President's tempers had calmed down. And the relationship was normalized. That was Cecilia Ogwal. She would use the power of prayer, the power of mediation to bring people together. When I was in the Parliamentary Commission, and that's why, honorable members, we need to thank the late. What we are benefiting today, if we did not have Cecilia Ogwal, when we knew there were issues of welfare and they were hard, we would craft her into the commission to go and meet His Excellency. And when she spoke, everything would take place. His Excellency would say, yes, yes, yes. That's the person we are missing. That's what Parliament will miss. These are some of the things we have to speak now, because Honorable Cecilia is like, otherwise we would not be speaking about it. That's the person we are going to miss. Before the appointment of the Chief Justice, the Honorable Owini Dolo, we had a meeting at Speak Apartments, me, Honorable Cecilia Ogwal, and the Chief Justice. After we left that, by coincidence, His Excellency calls Honorable Cecilia Ogwal. They spoke.
We are a very important grouping in the world. Our countries account for 6.6 billion people in the world. That's almost 80% of the people of the world. Therefore, we can do a lot. As I told you the other day, some of us have been involved in the resistance movement for more than 60 years. And we have got some conclusions. As I said the other day, we need to address 3 areas. as the theme of our other meeting, the two meetings, NAM, the theme was deepening cooperation to achieve global affluence of all people, instead of affluence of only some. Now, the theme of this summit was leaving nobody behind, which is really the same point, that everybody, all people of the world should be in a good situation, should be prosperous. But how do you become prosperous? Sustainably. According to our experience, the only way you can guarantee prosperity sustainably is to enable all families, all persons who are old enough to participate in wealth creation by producing goods or services, either as an entrepreneur or as an employee of that enterprise. The population, all adults participating in the production of goods and services. And here we can cooperate with the countries of the South. We can cooperate in production of goods and services. Here in Uganda, we have experience. We have been working with some friends, like for instance from China. They have come and invested in a number of factories. I don't know whether these people have some footage they can show us. Those are some of the factories by our Chinese friends. That is an industrial park by with our Chinese friends in the east of Uganda, a place called Mbare. Behind there you see the Mount Elgon. Now that is one of the industrial parks. They are producing so many products there. Goods, producing goods, textiles, computers, what have you. So, you can show other, do you have other slides of the production? That is, those are friends, another industrial park, not the same one. Anyway, thank you so much. Those are friends from, okay, that's another industrial park with our Chinese friends. Another one, this is not different from the other one. The other one is in the east. This is to the north of Kampala. Producing goods of all types.